Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Okay, let's see here. I'm going to share until 8:30. Again, my name is John Paul and I'm an alcoholic. My sobriety date is March 5th, 2000. My sponsor is Irwin F. And my home group is Bread and Roses in Santa Monica. I always start with that because I think it's important to have those things in place. I grew up in Boston, and I'm Irish, Scottish, and Italian, which basically just means I like to drink a lot, I don't want to pay for it, and then I want to start a fight. That's what that translates into. And it's true. I'm not joking. That's what I do. I drink a lot, and then I start fights, or I try and get laid like everyone else. Oh man. I started drinking when I was around 12 or 13 years old, and I'll just give you some of the highlights. I woke up, when I was 12, I drank a liter of Finlandia vodka on a bet in like one thing, like just guzzled it. And I woke up the next day on my friend's lawn in whitey-tighty underwear and with a shit in my pants and covered in mosquito bites from head to toe and a black eye. And I was walking home in my underwear, and I was holding onto a tree, like just projectile vomiting, and little kids were throwing rocks at me. And I was screaming at them. I was like, "I'm gonna get you, motherfuckers! I'm gonna get you!" You know. And it was like that for many years. And when I was 16, or I think it was 16 or 17, I don't know, it was like a prom night. I had all my buddies in the car. And we were in like a cranberry bog in Boston, which is kind of like a big lake. And the cops pulled in on one side, and I started driving one way, and they started driving that way, and then I went this way, and then they went that way, and we were going back and forth for about 20 minutes. And then finally I stopped, and all my friends ran out of the car. And I stayed with the car because I was so drunk, and the guy handcuffed me and stuck me in the back of the car. And I was so messed up, I had this great idea to like slip through the cuffs, which I don't think I could do that now. I'm too big for that now. And I pushed the metal forward on the side where you roll the window down. I like pushed it forward with my foot and then rolled the window down and reached out and opened the car door while the cop was searching my car and ran with the cuffs on. And I just remember like running and looking back seeing this like red-headed cop just gaining on me, and I'm going, this is such a bad idea. Like, what was I thinking, you know? And turns out this guy was like a high school track star. And he just tackled me and beat the shit out of me, and it was so bad. And I remember another time where I did something, I think I chewed and screwed from a restaurant being drunk, and I look back, and there was the same red-headed cop just chasing me down again. And I'm like, oh, what? And I never learn. Like, I don't learn the lesson. And I laid down on the ground and tried to cover myself with leaves, thinking like, you know, but my camouflage was no match for the Pembroke Police Force fine detective skills. So I was quickly discovered and, you know, arrested. And it was like that a lot. And then, you know, and then there was the bad times, which was like, I got stabbed when I was 19 in a blackout and lost like half the blood in my body. And the doctor had to stitch me without anesthesia for like 3 hours. And I remember him saying to me, "Don't worry, kid, your hair will cover the scar." Which I think is funny, but I don't know. So when I got out to, I figured that Boston was the problem. So I moved out here, and I remember when I was like 26, and I was living with this dancer on the canals in Venice, and I was trying to get sober on my own, and I would go like a week or two, or in a couple weeks, and I would drink, and it was just pathetic. And at some point, I had been on a big bender, and she was just looking at me in the living room, and she's like, "You're such a loser. Why don't you get your life together, you loser?" And I was just like, "You're right, I am a loser. Like, I'm taking advice from a stripper, and she's right." And it was bad. And so I went to see a therapist to get my life together and to get prescribed some medication. That was my plan. And she prescribed AA. That's how I ended up here. She said, "You need to go to AA because you're taking Vicodin all day and you're drinking every night." And I said, "I don't want to go to AA." So I went to this men's stag, Bread and Roses in Santa Monica. And there was a lot of guys there like myself, my age. And I heard my story over and over and over. And I was really taken back by it. And so I got a sponsor. I work the steps. I do all the stuff they say to do around here. And one of the things I think has been important is, like, every time my life has gotten hard in sobriety, or every time I've gone through any kind of problems, all I've done is just dig in deeper. You know, I've just gone to more meetings, called more guys, worked with more newcomers, and my life has gotten better. And I don't know, a couple years ago, I was having some relationship issues, shockingly, like around here. And I was really struggling with it. And what I decided to do was, the book talks about, you know, if relationships and sex and all that stuff becomes troublesome for us, we throw ourselves harder into working with others. So that's what I did. I worked with more guys. And this guy approached me who had been in and out for 16 years and couldn't get more than 60 days. And I knew him my whole sobriety. And he's like, "Will you sponsor me?" And I was like, "Oh my God, what am I going to tell this guy? You know, he's had every guru, every sponsor. I can't help this guy." And I called my sponsor, and he's like, "Just take him through the steps. That's what we do." So that's what I did. I took him through the steps. And he had never worked the steps. I was stunned to find out in 16 years of coming in and out of the rooms, the guy had never worked the steps. So I said, "All right, maybe he's got a shot." And you know, we'd been working the steps for a while, and he got, you know, 60 days and 90 days and 3 months. You know, he got a year, which was amazing. The place went crazy. And at one point in working the steps, he was like, "Can you come to my house tonight and help me with the steps? You know, can we do it the steps at my house?" And I, you know, in the back of my mind was like, "I'm the sponsor. You come to my house." You know what I mean? Like, but I said, "Okay, I'll come to your house. We'll do it at your house." And when we were there, after working the steps, on the way out, he's walking me out. He introduced me to this girl who was friends, his neighbor and her friend. And long story short was, you know, I thought, "Oh, she's really cute." And he called me like 20 minutes later. He's like, "Oh, I got her number for you," which is what a good sponsee should do. And we got married 3 months ago, which is pretty cool. And thank you. Because if you know me, that's a miracle. It's a true miracle. And I don't say that because I don't say that that's what AA is about. It's not about that for me. Like, I hear that a lot in the meetings. Like, I hear people get up there and they talk about getting the wife and the house and all this stuff. And I used to sit in the back of the room and be like, that's not what AA is about, you know? It's about getting sober. It's about, you know, being comfortable in your skin when you walk into a room full of people. And it's about, you know, there's nothing in the promises about a big house and a hot wife. But there is in my book, but I'm just kidding. But there's some great byproducts that happen around here when you come to this thing on a regular basis and you work the program and you do what's outlined. And I think that's it for me. And I'm gonna say thanks. Thanks for John for asking me to speak.